Right fellas, welcome back to a new video. Today we're off down Paul Linford's. If you don't know who Paul is, he's basically the man for anything Cosworth, especially RS500s, whether it be road cars, race cars, parts, knowledge. Paul is the man for Cosworths. Anyway, about a year ago, there's a YouTube channel called MotorAddicts, and they teamed up with another lad called Lee Stevens, who owns Smart and Car Services in Kent. What happened was, Lee's mate wanted to sell his three-door Cosworth, right? Now this three-door Cosworth had been parked up and had a garage built around it. It's been in the garage for about 9 or 10 years. So what Lee done was, he prepped the car ready for sale through Hampton Auctions. The car sold. Then the lad that bought the car has had it sent to Paul's. So Paul is basically going to get it back on the road, get reliable, get it sorted. Because obviously, if you can imagine, a car that's been sat for about 9 or 10 years does need some work done. It's not just a case of jumping in and driving it. So we're going to head down Paul's, we're going to see what Paul has planned for the car and follow along with it. I'm looking forward to it, it's going to be a good video.
It's nickel stinks inside this car.
Does it?
You know, foisty, like your underpants. I think barn finds have become a bit of a trend, haven't
It has, especially people like the dust, don't they?
Yeah, the more muck on it, the more it fetches. This would have done 10 grand more if they hadn't washed it. But yeah, there's a lot of people buying these barn finds, so they call them, and I don't think people realise really what goes into the work. What to expect. I think they think, well, we'll just change the fuel and fuel filter, put a timing belt and change the oil and away you go. And I think this car will show you really what you should expect, that it's not as straightforward as that. And Jonathan's asked me to recommission it for him, so his plan is
that the lad who won it at the auction?
Yeah, Jonathan bought it, so what he wants to do is basically just get the car on the road, make sure it's reliable and safe, and then he's going to do it as like a rolling project. He'll improve it as it goes.
Right, over time.
Yeah, and it's just for now is make sure it's safe and roadworthy, really.
This car, it is a good car. It's original, fully original, never been painted, full service history, no modifications. Just a really nice example of a car, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, as much as we're going to pull it to bits, you know, it's as nice a one as you'll find, really, to be fair. It is a nice car, and, you know, by the time he's finished with it, it'll be
even nicer.
Yeah.
Can we have a look around it?
Yeah, of course we can.
So I'm guessing this is where you're going to spend most of your time on this car then, Paul?
Well, no, not really.
No?
To be funny enough, the engine starts and it runs quite well, to be honest. Obviously it wants just a steam clean, just to get rid of dust and whatnot off it. Obviously we're going to do a timing belt, and a tensioner, new power steering belts and alternator belts, because, you know, people might look at them and say, well, they look all right. But the trouble with anything rubber, it perishes, doesn't it? So we're going to change them just as they're cheap. So we might as well do them. Things like you can see there, the power steering pipes have started to perish. I don't know whether you can zoom in.
Right,
So we're going to have to change a lot of the pipe work. Obviously new antifreeze, to clean the water, drain the brake fluid out of it, because we're going to be doing the discs and pads and a full brake overhaul anyway, so we'll drop the fluid, new power steering fluid in it. So basically almost quite a comprehensive service really under the bonnet, and a bit of a clean, and other than that, that's it really. Under the bonnet there's not a lot. So we'll send it up if you want, and we'll sort of see really what underneath. Most people don't see. It's cosmetics, like all three doors, the early ones, burn the paint. So you can see that it's burnt the paint.
I've seen that in the video what they posted, MotorAddicts TV. They did mention that, but I suppose part of the problem with turbos, isn't it? It's just
well, all the early three doors did it, because the early three doors, you see, had an heat shield like that. And then later on and on the shaft, they brought the heat shield over the top.
Right.
And it was to stop the heat from burning the paint on the bonnet. So this has obviously been like that from new, and it's gradually got worse. There's obviously other cosmetic little bits and pieces around the car. You can see stone chips that have gone a little bit rusty, and somebody's actually polished through there. But for now, Jonathan's not really bothered about that. He just wants the car mechanically right, so he can get in it, drive it, and enjoy it. And then, you know, he'll do bits as and when. Obviously, somehow the screen's got broken.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, so we'll have to put a brand new screen in it.
That doesn't look like the original screen, does it?
I think it's had a screen in it.
I was going to say, they've normally got like a visor, haven't they?
Yeah, it's not an original screen, so it's had a screen in it at some time, which is common.
No, well, it's a 35-year-old car at the end of the day.
Well, the thing is as well, a lot of these do, like you can see there, it's called delamination, yeah. So this has started, but it's not bad for a three-door. So yeah, cosmetics on the outside, a bit of obviously a good valet, a good polish,
Good
make
buff
it
up.
look better. But
Tell you what, I might have to bring my SAF down. You can do all the fluids and belts on that.
we'll start out front and work back. I think
Right.
it's probably easier. Silly things like you can see that has gone quite rusty, so we'll have to change that water pipe, which is a metal one. The radiator's leaking. So we'll have to get the radiator out and record, and they're quite expensive.
Are they?
You're looking about 300 quid to get a radiator record.
Right.
They're very expensive, of course. You can see the power steering pipes have quite badly corroded, so they'll all have to be replaced. The power steering rack's leaking, so we're going to have to put a reconditioned rack on because you can't get brand new ones anymore. So reconditioned rack, all the power steering pipes changed, all the bushes at the front have started to perish. You can just see it there, look, they're starting to crack. So we're going to change all the bushes at the front. Obviously the calipers, they're going to come off, completely stripped, all new pistons, seals, get them all re-zinc plated like they are factory. New discs and pads. We'll check obviously the bearings and that, make sure they're all okay. Tyres, you know, the tyres have got fantastic grip on them, but when you look at them closely, I don't think you'll see it on the camera, but they're all perishing.
Well, 10-year-old at least, won't it?
Exactly, and I would think if you drove it down the road, you'd probably feel it.
Flat spots.
Yeah, where they've been flat spotted, so it'll have 4 new tyres. Believe it or not, I expected these to be quite bad. The original Flexi hoses, normally they're perished and cracked. They look good. We're going to obviously inspect them closer when we get the wheels and that off. Fortunately, you can't buy them anymore, so you can only buy the replacement Goodrich ones.
Like the braided ones.
Yeah, so we'll look at putting them on if we have to. If they're clean, I'll clean them up, make sure they're all right. Same with all the brake pipes. The front ones look okay, but we'll check all the brake pipes. If it needs them, we'll replace them. So there's quite a bit there, as you can see. You know, by the time we've done the full engine service and everything there's quite a bit of work. Moving back, the exhaust, as you can see, is
I noticed the exhaust had some
light corrosion. So it'll have a full new system front to back. Obviously, you can buy a reproduction of these now.
Has this been fixed at some point, or is that?
No, it's been, somebody's put pieces in there.
I noticed
that's even rotted. So a full new exhaust front to back. The fuel lines and brake lines look perfect, to be fair.
They look right, don't
yeah,
they?
They look good. The car's solid.
All the usual spots are fine.
Perfect. You know, as you'd expect for one of these that hasn't done a lot. I mean, it's done 70,000, but it's not a lot. But yeah, it's, you know, it's very light little bits, but no.
It was in the garage, wasn't it, for 9 years?
Exactly.
So it's been.
Yeah, so it's solid, which is a good thing.
Field.
Then obviously when you move to the back, all the brakes at the back are going to get refreshed, new discs and pads again, the calipers rebuilt, a new handbrake cable because that's seen better days. The brake pipes don't look too bad, but we'll have to inspect them closer.
See, like bits like that are just cheap, but then if you replace everything that's cheap, you end up with a big bill, don't you?
This is the thing, you're exactly right. I mean, the exhaust is an expensive item, they're about £1,000. You can get a cheaper stainless steel if you want, but he wants to keep it looking original, so we're going to put a brand new reproduction original system on it. The suspension we'll have to look at closely when the wheels come off and that, but you know, there's no obvious leaking or anything. But I have also warned Jonathan that, you know, we can only do what we can see is wrong. It's one of them where you might drive it and 1,000 miles later the suspension starts to leak once it starts to get used. But we can only do what we can see. The fuel tank, you can see they're starting to weep. So we're going to put a new fuel tank in, obviously all new rubbers, hoses, a new fuel pump and a new fuel filter. The fuel pump's noisy, again, because it's been stood and not used.
Are you putting a loom on for the fuel pump, or are you going to leave it?
We'll test it. We'll just do a test on it. If it's got a good 12 volts like it should have, and it maintains it, we'll leave it. We're not going to change everything just for the sake of it.
I know, but that's the thing, isn't it? How far do you go?
Well, I mean, I would estimate this to do the minimum required to get it on the road and safe, probably about £7,000.
You reckon that'd be what it'll cost?
There's a lot of money in parts, you know, like I said, the exhaust is £1,000 on its own, and obviously 4 new tyres, radiator, discs and pads,
caliper refurb,
exactly, you know, and all your servicing parts, and the windscreen,
fuel pumps, filters.
You start adding that up and you think, oh, it sounds a lot, but I did a rough guide for Jonathan before we agreed to go ahead, and so I said, you know, this is what it, and I added the list up and surprised myself really. I thought, Christ, you know, you're going to be £5 worth of bits at least, and a couple of grand in sort of labour to do it all.
Be a nice car though.
Yeah.
Wait, is it a nice car? Just be usable?
Yeah, we're going to try and give it a good steam clean underneath.
Are you going to clean it, are you?
Yeah, just give it a clean up. You know, make it look a bit more presentable really.
You're a buffy, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, no, you just look a lot nicer.
I know what you mean.
Like I say, I think a lot of people think you buy these cars and just
chuck a bit of fresh fuel in and clean the plugs and away you go.
And away you go. But and this, to be quite honest, isn't probably as bad as most.
No. No, it is pretty solid. I see it on all of them, but they do seem to hold up pretty well for an old Ford.
Yeah, they do. Depends where they're parked, doesn't it? If they're damp, if they're dry, like this, you know, you can tell it's not been damp because everything is dry on it.
On the video where they found the car, it was just full of dry leaves in the garage, so you can see it's been a pretty dry place where it's been kept.
But it just shows you. Imagine if it was damp. Well, that's where your problems start, you know. But saying that, it can work both ways. If it's too dry, or everything rubber perishes because it dries out. So it's getting that balance.
The balance.
You don't want a damp place, but you don't want an absolutely bone dry. This has been very dry because like everything's gone flaky like that because it's been so dry.
I think I would pick a dry one.
I'd rather have a dry one than a
good body shell.
Yeah, exactly.
And replace a few rubber hoses.
You know, we'll have to inspect things like all these bushes in here once we get it to bits. I'm hoping they're all right because otherwise it means taking the full back axle out, stripping the back axle to put the bushes back in, and they're not a pleasant job really. No. They're not you
can see this is where they normally rust as well. It all looks good, doesn't it, on the chassis,
it's solid.
on the legs.
All inner sills and that here where they go are all absolutely.
It's all good.
Mint. Yeah, it's mint.
This is what mine was like before I restored it, just because it was like borderline of being. I mean, it's still solid, so you can kind of grind it all off, paint it, and you're not going to have any more issues.
Yeah,
but if you leave it another
in time.
But if you leave this like and used it for another couple of years, it would obviously start getting holes and.
Yeah. It has luckily been caught just in time, really, before it becomes.
Would you give it a quart of anything, some kind of rust prevention type stuff, or do you just leave it?
Personally, if you're not wanting to go down the blingy route of painting all the floor pans and everything, I think a light coat just a clear wax soil it'll do it world of good once it's finished, just to
preserve it.
Yeah. But I think, to be honest, when you look there, just look at that. Just wiping it with your finger. Look at that.
I was going to say a steam clean, like you see a steam cleaner before, it's bringing it up quite surprising.
It is quite clean, isn't it?
You can see all the chassis number hasn't been touched or anything, has it?
No, it's a nice genuine car, really. It'll make a nice car when it's done.
Will do.
You know, and Jonathan's quite aware that, you know, these aren't going to drop in value, I don't think. I think they're
hopefully not.
Keep climbing. And
I would like the values to drop so they're more usable and affordable.
I know, that's the trouble, isn't it?
It's mad at the minute.
If you own one, you want the prices to go through the roof. If you want to own one, you want them to drop, don't you? But the clutch feels okay. I've checked the clutch, that seems okay. But again, it's not something you can guarantee, you know.
No.
These cars, you sometimes take a few miles to showing issues, like head gaskets are known for going when they've been stood. But again, because it's been kept dry, I think it should be all right. I think it'll be all right. All the prop shaft donuts look good on it. They're known for going out. Then you get the banging when you set off. They seem all right. And the diff's nice and dry. There's no leaks from anywhere. The gearbox is dry.
No, it is. It's a nice car. I look forward to seeing it done.
And even that look, you know, they're known for leaking out the bias valve on the back. And you can't get them. That looks good. So I'll clean that off and I will coat that with a lot of wax oil just to preserve that because you can't get them. But yeah,
is that not available off another car, like, I don't know, a Transit van or a Granada or...
There was a Jag. I can't remember which Jag it was, but there was a Jaguar that had exactly the same bias valve. And I remember probably 10 years ago now, excuse me, when they started to become an issue and leaking on every one. And it was a guy that you've met, Ali McMillan, up in Scotland. He's a Jaguar man. And he told me, he said, there's a Jag that fits that. And of course, everybody ran out. And then Jaguar ran out of them because everybody went to a Jaguar dealer and bought all the bias valves.
Well, we'll blame Ali for that then. He should have kept it quiet.
His fault. Yeah, he should have kept your trade secret.
Can we have a look inside, see what the interior's like?
Of course we can, yeah.
So inside, Paul, I'm guessing there's not much for you to do in here, is there? Or am I wrong?
No, to be honest, the interior is wants a good clean. I mean, he hasn't backed it out or anything like. Got the usual cracked dash, but to be fair, what Jonathan said was, see if we can find an uncracked dash.
3-door Sapphire.
A proper 3-door one, and what he's going to do is just like put that in his loft and keep it.
Right.
And use the car with this dash in. But he's always got the uncracked dash for a later date, whatever he can fit it. But you know, they are becoming harder and harder to find.
I know.
But in all fairness, what is 78,000? You look at that gear knob and it's pretty mint. And they're hard to find. Is the original gear knob in good nick? The steering wheel's tidy, original radio and everything. So it is 100% original. Which
does it all work inside as well? All the radio, the.
Do you know what? I haven't even tried it. Let's see if the radio works. Get some of your favourite Bros playing or something. Look at that. Yeah, it works. And electric aerial's gone up. Yeah, it works.
I've got one in a box somewhere, an original one.
Have you?
No, I've never fitted it.
They're nice though. It's nice.
It's nice period look, but
I know they sound terrible, don't they? All speakers crackle and rattle, but it's just nice to have, isn't it? But yeah, that's working. Even clock's working. Look, and usually digits don't work on them, do they? Everything's working. Yeah. Home works. Headlining's quite good, isn't it?
They normally sag, don't they, the headlinings?
Yeah, headlining's real good. Just wants a clean, doesn't it?
Will you clean it, or will you? Is that something?
I'll give it a vac out and that for him, so it's presentable when he gets it back. But I don't do valeting.
Bit of auto glim on the outside or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's.
No, it's a nice car.
Even look, if you look at all white bits, you know, on switches and that are all still real bright. So proper good detail and a valet. Seats are mint. For its miles, I mean, look at that.
Aye. If anyone wants to detail it, get in touch with Paul. I'm sure he'd let you in to.
Absolutely,
yeah. For a business promotion or something.
Somebody wants to come and do it, they're more than welcome for 50p.
In a cup of coffee.
I'll give them biscuits as well.
Yeah, I haven't had a biscuit yet.
That's unusual as well. When they're stored, the sunroofs get stuck.
Do they really?
Yeah, and this thing's free. Yeah, it's pretty good. Bit of corrosion.
I was going to say maybe it's a 3M,
but it works okay.
Yeah, it works alright.
It's a really good basis, isn't it, to start with?
There's a.
I must have got a new power steering pipe.
Power steering pipe, right?
Yeah. Mirror there.
It's clever one,
Yeah. But no, it's
nice.
alright. It is, isn't it? It is a.
It's nice to see what to expect as well from a barn find, because like you see, I think most people are a bit naive and they just think, oh, we'll bang a few, bit of fuel in, change the time belt.
And what we're doing with this, to be fair, is a lot of putting a lot of issues right now that we know he will have.
Save breakdowns really, isn't it? So it's more usable.
You know, like the brakes, the car moves all right and it brakes, but the brakes, they've been stood 10 years nearly. They're not going to be great.
No.
So for the price of a set of discs and pads and to get the calipers refurbished, Jonathan can drive it, jump in it, and know it's not going to let him down. And I think that's what he wants. He just wants to enjoy the car, you know, without every time he takes it out, something going wrong. So he's doing a lot of preventative maintenance, we call it. But
no, I think it's a nice car. Nice car.
I think with a good wash and a polish, it's all there. Wheels, what could do with a refurb, maybe at a later date, but
they always go the wheels. I mean, even if you've done the wheels in 3 years, it could be gone again.
Exactly. Headlights are all nice and bright. Body kit all fits nice, and it's
nice. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with it. Shall we look in the boot, Paul?
I can do. A bit tight round here.
Can't see it's snug, isn't it?
Fat belly and
I noticed on the video as well when they found this car, it had some oil in and a big Ford logo outside. Have you seen the video?
No, I haven't.
Have you not? Oh, there was a big Ford badge in that in the back. I was hoping it was still going to be here.
Some nice mats.
Some nice mats, aye.
See, look at that, in good nick for one of these. Usually they get a good battery in, don't they?
It is a pretty well survived car, isn't it, to be honest?
It's even got that. Now 90% of them are missing out.
The handles. The 3D print them now.
Yeah, original nice. D40 tyre.
Obviously no good for the road, but
no,
looks nice. Nice to have, isn't it?
Solid, isn't it?
All nice original screws and that.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. Yeah, I don't think there's anything it wants in here, really, is there? Just
see all the genuine all the same, all the.
That's the good thing in it. It is genuine
quarters and that.
Yeah. All original lights. The parcel shelf's not too bad, just got a little bit there.
The parcel shelves sag on them, don't they? But that one's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not. Let's see if it's still got its...
First aid kit. Is that what you're looking for?
No, somebody must have nearly died and have used it. Oh, that's nice. Tailgate's mint.
Aye, it is. I noticed mine's like that. You see the holes there?
Yeah, little drain holes.
But they're blocked.
Yeah.
Is there like a wax oil or something in there?
No, I think it's just a press. Is that one blocked?
Aye. Mine's the same.
Yeah, it's like a press mark, isn't it, rather than a hole?
So I thought it was a drain hole, but maybe it's not.
No, maybe not. I'm learning something new off you here, you see.
I see.
But even tailgate stays up, which is rare, isn't it? Normally they fall down and bang you on the back of the head. I think almost Cosy owners have got a boot lock imprint on back of their head at some point, haven't they? That's a shame. It's obviously had a mouse in it at some point. But I think that'd
stitch
back up, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'll stitch up. Yeah, that'll stitch up nicely. But yeah, good.
Yeah, nice car. Nice car. Thanks for letting us come down, Paul.
You're welcome.
That's it, fellas. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Paul for letting us come down and showing us what to expect if you're buying a barn find car. Thanks to Jonathan as well, the lad who bought the car at the auction, for letting us just have a look and document the car. When it's done, Paul, can we come back and have another look?
Of course can, yeah.
Maybe take it for a road drive if it's all right?
Yeah, no problem at all, because I'll get it MOT'd for him so he can, when it goes back, he can just get out and enjoy it. So yeah, we can go for a spin in it.
Awesome. I'll leave links to Paul's social media below. But yet again, thanks for watching, fellas. Oh, and I'll also leave a link to the original video from MotorAddicts TV in the description if you want to watch this car when it was first found. But yet again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.